We never know. We always think we are going to be okay. Okay. This absolutely floored me, Bill. When I saw this article, I was just blown away. And I don't ever like to read, but a stunning update. Jocelyn Ballantyne, the lead attorney assigned to the J6 pipe bomber case, was the one who notoriously pressured the Proud Boys to lie about Trump's involvement in January 6 or face years in prison. And there is enough evidence of that, enough testimony from some of those people that we know that that is true. And so it wonder why this attorney has now been assigned to the pipe bomber case. Because
And by whom?
exactly right. And who does the assignments? Is it Pam Bondi
I assume
herself?
it's Pam Bondi,
Or is it someone on?
especially for a high pressure case like this.
Well, she shouldn't be anywhere near law, in my opinion. She is one of the Department of Justice attorneys who were signed to General Flynn, to Mike Flynn's prosecution. They admitted altering evidence in this case following the reprimand from the judge.
Now you're talking about Jocelyn Ballantyne, not Pam Bondi now.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't say. Yeah. They admitted to altering the Michael Flynn's prosecution case. They altered the evidence in the case. The judge had to reprimand them. If a judge has to reprimand you, what are you still doing at the Department of Justice?
Does it say that she's a Department of Justice? Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. She's the attorney assigned to the pipe bomber case. She also provided altered documents to Sidney Powell and submitted an FBI interview report with redactions to information that was crucial to the case. So it's like she was interfering with that case. And then when the government threw the case out against General Flynn, she declined to sign the motion to dismiss the charges against him.
That's a hardcore bad guy.
A woman. Yeah, she is. She is as crooked as they come. I mean, but here's a question. Can you answer this? Why is she still there?
Good question.
Why is she still allowed to do this? And why was she assigned the pipe bomber case of all cases? You know, we've had our doubts about Pam Bondi. I see a lot of things about Pam Bondi. I'm always saying, give her a chance. I just don't know. How in the world, when you have such a high profile case right now, when you have so many people interested in the pipe bomber case, when everything about the J6 cases was handled so pitifully, and General Flynn's case was handled so pitifully, so poorly, you would think that if you're trying to prove yourself to be a good attorney general, you would make darn sure that the prosecuting attorney wasn't one who had any spots on her record.
Right, exactly.
But this is just, it just goes from bad to worse. I mean, what are we supposed to think? And I wish we knew. I wish we had taken the time to look up and see who assigns prosecutors to these cases.
I bet you one of our audience knows the answer to that.
Yeah, somebody put a comment in one of our posts that said, you know, you can do Chat GPT while you're live. And I'm like, yeah, both of us sitting there trying to do that. I really don't know who is.
I would think it has to be the Attorney General or the Deputy. Who is the Deputy Attorney General? Oh.
Well, I mean, there are several of them. Hermit Dillon is one, but she's the Deputy Attorney General for civil rights cases. So I think they have a number of Deputy Attorney Generals or whatever other title they might have. In this, Julie Kelly is a good investigative reporter, and she's the one who kind of broke this story. She just she's just like us. She's like, why? How in the world did this happen? But this tells us why nobody seems to be getting arrested. Nobody has yet gone to jail. And I don't like to be that impatient, but it just,
After a while, you start, instead of counting up, you start counting down to how many more weeks does Trump have in office.
well, and maybe, Michael Flynn has been calling for Pam Bondi to resign and for Sidney Powell to take her place for a long time. Sidney Powell was one of his attorneys.
Yeah.
And, this is just in your face. I mean, really, just, it's almost like Pam Bondi doesn't want this case to be handled properly because this woman has a record of not handling.
So that brings us all the way around to what happened to the female cop that was first believed to be involved in this pipe bombing case, and now all of a sudden she has a good alibi and she's out of there.
Yeah.
Well,
she was watching TV with her dogs, right?
Well, I mean, if the dog could give verified testimony, then it's no problem.
Well, yeah, and as we said,
let's try Molly. Molly, what do you think? Come here, Molly.
Yeah. Well,
come here. She said, "No, I'm going to my bed. Something's up."
Yeah. Right. It just begins to smell even more and more, and it causes me really to not have much faith in her. People say she was a Democrat until she decided to run for office, and she had to run as a Republican in order to win the office. That may be true, but there are a lot of people who are former Democrats who are not corrupt or whatever. I mean, you're a former Democrat,
yeah,
right? Ronald Reagan.
I hate having that pointed out.
I know you do, but it's true. You're a former Democrat, so is Ronald Reagan.
But it's former a long time ago.
Right, exactly.
In fact, it was when I changed when Reagan came in office. I saw the light. Right. And the judge in the case was Judge Tim Kelly, who was a good friend with this prosecuting attorney. And she went into court and claiming that the communication represented classified secrets, classified information, and should be withheld from the jury, which, of course, Judge Kelly went along with. Now, wait a minute. This is the pipe bomber guy who was believed to be an anarchist who placed pipe bombs that didn't work, which is kind of unbelievable when he goes to that much effort. They were pipe bombs designed to look like pipe bombs, but that would not go off for some reason. And now this is known as classified material.
No.
Why?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't clarify. The Proud Boys cases. The communication with the Proud Boys cases, she decided to determine that it was classified. It wasn't.
No matter. Proud Boys cases are classified material on what grounds?
Well, on the grounds that she didn't want it to be.
No, on the grounds that the FBI had secret agents and agent provocateurs planted throughout the crowd. That's the grounds.
Right, but that's why she didn't want it to come into court, because the fact that she wanted to say that it was classified when it wasn't. And the judge went along with her, and it wasn't classified information, but it wasn't allowed in court, so the jury didn't hear it. And of course, the jury.
So they all went to jail.
But of course, the jury probably heard that, these were classified. We couldn't, and so that sort of swayed the jury.
The implication being they were Russian spies, all of them.
Yeah. So she's the lead prosecutor in this pipe bombing case, and I'm curious to see how this comes out. Now I'm curious to see, what is she going to do with this case? What is she going to hide?
I think we should hammer this until it falls apart.
Well,
we haven't done enough on
the J6 people just because we didn't know what to do.
Well, it's because you get you get in trouble when you talk about
Well,
it, or
that's
you get
true. I
right,
mean, we're on pretty flimsy ground with
right,
social media people.
right. And they wanted to put President Trump in jail. That's why one of the reasons why they wanted to just put him away. But it still troubles me that Pam Bondi assigned this person, or maybe she didn't. Maybe somebody else assigned her. I don't know how. We need to find out how people get assigned to cases.
Get Mr. Trump on the line.
No, I mean,
President Donald, we have a question
yeah.
for you.
See if does anyone have this? Wasn't the Kennedy? Oh, Reagan was a Republican. However, he was a Democrat prior to being a Republican, and he
Yeah.
talks about that a lot. He says that he didn't leave the Democrat Party; the Democrat Party left him, and that's the way he put
Right,
it.
which is exactly the way I felt after Jimmy Carter. What did he do? He canceled the Olympics with the Russians or something like that. And whatever it was just blatantly wrong.
Right. Right. Well, Jimmy Carter is the only person, the only politician of any kind for whom I voted who was a Democrat. I've never ever voted for a Democrat since then. That was my big mistake. But I was also 18, and it was my very first election, and I was excited to be able to vote. My parents were voting for Jimmy Carter, so I voted for Jimmy Carter.
No, you were probably 8 at that time.
No, I wasn't. I remember I was 18. It was my first election, and I was excited to be able to vote. So there was that. And I don't know that we have anything further to say on this matter.
Yeah.
We just I was stunned when I saw this, and
this is something that we should look into more.
Yeah,
we'll make some telephone calls and maybe get back to you tomorrow on this, have some better information.
Yeah. And we do need to find out who appoints the prosecuting attorney. But I still say, in a case like this, Pam Bondi should be overseeing it personally, just because it's such high profile.
Right.
And that was everything else about the cases surrounding J6 were mishandled. So,
okay. Are we done?
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
God bless you.